Hello there, very good evening and welcome to your Primetime News Bulletin. I'm Shane Silva.
I'm Stephanie Lazarus. Before we head into your news in detail, here's a look at the headlines for tonight.
Cabinet of Ministers sworn in. President says an election will be called in 100 days. The political leadership and public service should set an example to the nation. A statement from President Maithripala Sirisena. JVP ready to join a national executive committee, will not accept ministerial posts.
ඒ ජාතික විධායක සභාවේ කොටස්කරුවන් හැටියට ජනතා විමුක්ති පෙරමුණ අපි සම්බන්ධ වෙනවා.
Former President Mahinda Rajapaksa will continue as SLFP chairman. A statement from Anura Priyadarshana. His Holiness Pope Francis to arrive in the island tomorrow. On to the stories in detail now. 27 new cabinet ministers, 10 ministers of state and 8 deputy ministers were sworn in before President Maithripala Sirisena today.
The swearing-in ceremony was held at the Presidential Secretariat. The 27 cabinet ministers read the pledge following a minute's silence that was observed in remembrance of fallen war heroes.
ප්‍රතිපත්ති සම්පාදන ආර්ථික කටයුතු අමාත්‍යාංශයේ කාර්ය සහකාරීත්වය මහජන සාමය අපතල් කල්පනාකරණය කිච්චානේ ආගමික කටයුතු
ජෝසප් මයිකල් පෙරේරා වන මම සුදේශගත අමාත්‍ය දුරේ කාර්ය සහකාරීත්වය
ආර්ජිගේ ගාමිණී ජයක්‍ර පෙරේරා වන මම ආහාර සුරක්ෂිතාව අමාත්‍යවරේ කාර්ය සහකාරීත්වය
පින්සිරි සමරවීර වෙන මම විදේශ කටයුතු අමාත්‍ය දුරෙහි කාර්ය සහකාරීත්වය කරු ජයසූරියන් මම බුද්ධ ශාසන අමාත්‍ය දුරෙහි කාර්ය සහකාරීත්වය
ලක්ෂ්මන් කිරියල්ල වන මම වැවිලි කර්මාන්ත අමාත්‍ය දුරේ කාර්ය හා කර්තව්‍ය
රවි කරුණානායක වන මම මුදල් අමාත්‍යාංශ දුරේ කාර්ය සහ කර්තව්‍ය ශ්‍රී ලංකා ප්‍රජාතන්ත්‍රවාදී සමාජවාදී ජනරාජ්‍ය
රවුෆ් හකීම් වන මම නාගරික සංවර්ධන ජල සම්පාදන හා ජල පහන් අමාත්‍යාංශ දුරේදී
රණවන මම විද්‍ය බල හා බලශක්ති අමාත්‍ය දුරේ කාර්ය හා කර්තව්‍ය ශ්‍රී ලංකා ප්‍රජාතන්ත්‍රික සමාජවාදී ජනරාජ්‍ය
රාජසේන රත්න වන මම සෞඛ්‍ය දේශීය වෛද්‍ය අමාත්‍ය දුරේ කාර්ය සහ කර්තව්‍ය
දුමින්ද චානායක වන මම වාරිමාර්ග අමාත්‍ය දුරේ කාර්ය සහ කර්තව්‍ය
කබීර් මොහමඩ් හෂිම් මොහමඩ් වන මම මහමාර්ග හා ආයෝජන ප්‍රවර්ධන අමාත්‍ය දුරේ කාර්ය සහ කර්තව්‍ය
MKDS ගුණවර්ධන වන මම ඉඩම් අමාත්‍ය දුරේහි කාර්ය සහ කර්තව්‍ය
සජිත් ප්‍රේමදාස වන මම නිවාස හා සමෘද්ධි අමාත්‍ය දුරේහි කාර්ය සහ කර්තව්‍ය
විජේදාස රාජපක්ෂ වන මම අධිකරණ අමාත්‍ය දුරෙහි කාර්ය සහ කර්තව්‍ය
ගායන්ත කරුණාතිලක වන මම ජනමාධ්‍ය අමාත්‍ය දුරෙහි කාර්ය සහ කර්තව්‍ය
නවීන් දිසානායක වන මම සංචාරක අමාත්‍ය දුරෙහි කාර්ය සහ කර්තව්‍ය
අර්ජුන රන්තුක වන මම වරාය හා නාවික අමාත්‍යාංශ අමාත්‍ය දුරෙහි कार्य सह
Abdul Rashad Badruddin to solemnly declare and affirm that I will faithfully perform the duties and discharge.
I, D.M. Swaminathan, do solemnly declare and affirm that I will faithfully perform the duties and discharge and functions of the office of the Minister of Resettlement, Reconstruction and Hindu Religious Affairs.
අකිල විරාජ් කාර්ය සම්බන්ධ මම අධ්‍යාපන අමාත්‍ය දුරෙහි කාර්ය සහ කර්තව්‍ය
විදේශ රැකියා අමාත්‍ය දුරෙහි කාර්ය සහ කර්තව්‍ය ශ්‍රී ලංකා ප්‍රජාතාන්ත්‍රික සමාජවාදී ජනරාජයේ
රත්නායක මුදියන්සලාගේ රංජිත් මතුම් බණ්ඩාර වන මම අභ්‍යන්තර ප්‍රවාහන අමාත්‍යාංශ දුරෙහි කාර්ය හා කර්තව්‍ය
හැරිස් කේ හැරිසන් වන මම
සමාජ සේවා සහ සුබසාධන අමාත්‍ය ධුරයේ කාර්ය සහ කර්තව්‍ය
තුංග දිසානායකලාගෙන් චන්ද්‍රානි බණ්ඩාර වන මම කාන්තා කටයුතු අමාත්‍ය ධුරයේ කාර්ය සහ.
Subsequently, several state ministers were appointed to their positions.
සංස්කෘතික කලා කටයුතු රාජ්‍ය අමාත්‍ය ධුරයේ කාර්ය සහ කර්තව්‍ය ශ්‍රී ලංකා ප්‍රජාතන්ත්‍රික සමාජවාදී ජනරජ ආණ්ඩු ප්‍රවස්ථාවට
சாமி ராதாகிருஷ்ணன் ஆகியோர் கல்வி ராஜாங்க அமைச்சர் என்ற பதவிக்கான கடமைகளையும் பணிகளையும் இலங்கை ஜனநாயக சோசலிச குடியரசின்
I do solemnly declare and affirm that I will faithfully perform the duties and discharge the functions of the office of the State Minister of Aviation.
බණ්ඩාරවල මම විදුලි බල හා බලශක්ති රාජ්‍ය අමාත්‍ය ධුරයේ කාර්ය සහ කර්තව්‍ය ශ්‍රී ලංකා ප්‍රජාතන්ත්‍රවාදී දිලිපේදාරතුල මම ජීව රාජ්‍ය අමාත්‍ය ධුරයේ කාර්ය සහ කාර්යශ්‍රී ලංකා ප්‍රජාතන්ත්‍රවාදී සමාජ
රෝස් සේනානායක වන මම ළමා කටයුතු රාජ්‍ය අමාත්‍ය ධුරයේ කාර්ය සහ කර්තව්‍ය ශ්‍රී ලංකා ප්‍රජාතන්ත්‍රවාදී සමාජවාදී
රාජ්‍ය විජේසිංහ වන මම උසස් අධ්‍යාපන රාජ්‍ය අමාත්‍ය ධුරයෙහි කාර්ය සහ කර්තව්‍ය ශ්‍රී ලංකා ප්‍රජාතන්ත්‍රවාදී
ආරක්ෂක රාජ්‍ය අමාත්‍ය ධුරයෙහි කාර්ය සහ කාර්යකාර ශ්‍රී ලංකා ප්‍රජාතන්ත්‍රවාදී
कृपया बेले காய்கறி பெருந்தோட்ட கைத்தொழில் ராஜாங்க அமைச்சர் என்ற பதவிக்கான கடமைகளையும் பணிகளையும் இலங்கை சன்னாய නිරෝෂන් පෙරාවන මම තරුණ කටයුතු රාජ්‍ය අමාත්‍ය ධුරයේ කාර්ය සහ කර්තව්‍ය ශ්‍රී ලංකා ප්‍රජාතන්ත්‍රවාදී සමාජවාදී ජනරජයේ ආණ්ඩු ක්‍රම ව්‍යවස්ථාවට සහ නීතියට අනුකූලව අවංකව ඉටපන්න බවටද ශ්‍රී ලංකා ජනරජයට පක්ෂපාත වන බවටද මාගේ උපරිම ශක්ති ප්‍රමාණයෙන් ශ්‍රී ලංකා ප්‍රජාතන්ත්‍ර.
The 8 deputy ministers of the new government were then sworn in.
දිවෙලාගේ සම්පික ප්‍රේමදාසයන් මම කර්මාන්තවාරංග නියෝජ්‍ය අමාත්‍ය ධුරයේ කාර්යභාරය PM හර්ෂද සිල්වා වන මම ප්‍රතිපත්ති සම්පාදන හා ආර්ථික කටයුතු නියෝජ්‍ය අමාත්‍ය ධුරයෙහි කාර්ය හා කාර්ය කිරාන් විකුණාට වන මහා මාර්ග හා ආයෝජන ප්‍රවර්තන නියෝජ්‍ය අමාත්‍ය ධුරයෙහි කාර්ය හා කර්තව්‍ය ශ්‍රී ලංකා
අර්ජුන සුජීව සේනසිංහ වන මම අධිකර නියෝජ්‍ය අමාත්‍ය ධුරයෙහි කාර්ය සහ කර්තව්‍ය ශ්‍රී ලංකා ප්‍රජාතාන්ත්‍රික සමාජ ජනරජයේ
සේනානායක වසන්ත නරේෂ් පරාක්‍රම වන මම සංචාරක නියෝජ්‍ය අමාත්‍ය ධුරයෙහි කාර්ය සහ කර්තව්‍ය ශ්‍රී
லங்கா மகளிர் அலுவல்கள் பிரதி அமைச்சர் என்ற பதவிக்கான கடமைகளையும் பணிகளையும் இலங்கை ஜனநாயக
අජිත් පත්මකාන්ත පෙරේරා වන මම විදේශ කටයුතු නියෝජ්‍ය අමාත්‍ය ධුරයේ කාර්ය සහ කර්තව්‍ය ශ්‍රී ලංකා
මම වාරිමාර්ග නියෝජ්‍ය අමාත්‍ය ධුරයේ කාර්ය සහ කර්තව්‍ය ශ්‍රී ලංකා ප්‍රජාතාන්ත්‍රික සමාජවාදී ජනරජයේ ආණ්ඩු.
In his address to his new cabinet, the president noted that an election would be called in 100 days and impressed upon them the temporary nature of power.
මේ පත්කල අමාත්‍ය මණ්ඩලය අපි දින 100ක වැඩපිළිවෙලක් සඳහා අපේ తాවකාලික වැඩපිළිවෙල.
The cabinet that was appointed today is a temporary program intended to complete our 100-day program. The government that will be established following the 100-day program will be the permanent cabinet that will carry out the other pledges made in our manifesto and will build upon the points in the 100-day program. That is the responsibility entrusted to us by the people. As a Buddhist, I wish to tell all of you that you must always have in your minds the aspiration to let go of positions and power. You need to clearly display purity and humility at this instance.
අධිෂ්ඨානයක් තියෙන්නට ඕනේ. ඒ පිළිබඳව පැහැදිලි ලෙසම තමන්ගේ චිත්ත සමාධියක් පාරිශුද්ධභාවයක් තියෙන්නට ඕනේ.
President Maithripala Sirisena says that there will be a visible change in the government service through the appointment of a new government.
President Maithripala Sirisena made this statement when he assumed duties as president today. A group including religious leaders, Prime Minister Ranil Wickremesinghe and former ministers were present for this occasion.
රාජ්‍ය පාලනයේ සිටින අද අපි රජුන්නව මහජන සේවකයින් නිසා
Because we are government servants and not kings, we have to build a society containing humanitarianism. We are also committed to establishing goodness and good governance in all sectors of society. We are dedicated to establish a clear change through a new government which embodies good governance. We must understand that we should not blame those who work in lower ranks, but that it is those who work at the top that must take responsibility. Therefore, it is essential to create an exemplary government service. This example must be set by the political sector and by the leadership of the government service.
ආදර්ශය
රාජ්‍ය සේවය තුලත් දේශපාලන ශාස්ත්‍රය වගේම රාජ්‍ය සේවය තුල නායකත්වයෙන් ඒ ආදර්ශය දිය යුතු වෙනවා.
President of Russia Vladimir Putin has congratulated President Maithripala Sirisena on his appointment as the President of Sri Lanka. The message reads, quote, "I am happy to note the friendly and constructive nature of relations between Russia and Sri Lanka." He confirms Russia's readiness to work jointly to further develop the fruitful bilateral cooperation in various areas. He added that this meets the fundamental interests of the people of the two countries and is in line with the efforts to maintain stability and security in the region.
According to foreign media, U.S. Secretary of State John Kerry has told President Maithripala Sirisena that Washington wants to strengthen its ties with the island. U.S. Secretary of State, or rather a senior State Department official who is accompanying Kerry on a state visit to India, was quoted by foreign media outlets as saying, quote, "The Secretary spoke to Sri Lankan President Maithripala Sirisena last night to congratulate him on the successful campaign and express the US's desire to work together for our shared goals," unquote. The official added that both sides resolved to work together to strengthen the bilateral relationship in the coming days.
Convening a media briefing today, the JVP announced that while they would not accept any cabinet ministerial positions, they are prepared to join a national executive council.
Although we are not shareholders in this government, although we will not enter the cabinet, we have proposed establishment of a national executive council above the cabinet. We have discussed this with the other factions. They have voiced their agreement for a national executive council. The JVP will be shareholders of this national executive council. The national executive council must be established under the president and the prime minister. The JVP reiterated that there can be no delay in inquiries into fraud and corruption. Those who were responsible for large-scale fraud and corruption are leaving the country. We are not saying that we should close the airport. We are saying that we must not leave room in this country for these people to abandon the country without impediment. We will lodge complaints before the Fraud and Corruption Commission tomorrow against Namal Rajapaksa, Basil Rajapaksa, Ajit Nimad Cabral, and also with regard to the hedging agreement. Information has come to light that the president was not going to step down from the power as normal. The Sunday newspapers, especially the English newspapers, have reported on an attempt that he made to retain power at the last minute. It was a conspiratorial move to deprive our people of the right to elect a leader and the right to change a regime. We are of the stance that this conspiracy must be revealed and that legal action must be initiated. We will look as to how this will be taken forward. The JVP is prepared to intervene in this matter.
නීතිමය ක්‍රියාමාර්ගවල තව තීරණ වී යුතු කෙනෙක් ස්ථාවරය අපි ඉන්නවා. අපි බලන් ඉන්නවා ඉදිරියේදී කොහොමද ඒක ක්‍රියාත්මක වෙන්නේ.
Parliamentarian Pon Selvarasa says that the Tamil National Alliance has no interest in holding government positions. He made this statement at an event held in Batiklo yesterday.
It is the minority who chose the president. The former president accepted this fact. In this election, it is made clear that you cannot choose a leader for this country without the contribution of the minorities. They are going in line with the Tamil National Alliance. We have already presented several suggestions to him. We will work according to the manner in which he has agreed to our suggestions. The Tamil National Alliance is a party which has no interest in holding government positions.
A national movement for a just society says that priority should be given to fulfilling the promises made to the people rather than to organize celebrations. The following views were expressed at a media briefing convened by the movement under the theme Abolishing the Executive Presidency.
In the future, the National Movement for a Just Society will not act to hold celebratory events and sing the praises of those who have come into power. Now we are working on the implementation of the policies that were accepted by us and that were approved by 6.2 million people. We must form a national government in order to ensure the participation of everyone in governing the country. We commenced the long struggle of ensuring the citizens' right to information, limiting the cabinet to 25 members, and changed the system where people switch allegiances between political parties in this way. A 100-day time frame has been set for this program. Do not break this promise to the people. Give it priority.
Certain politicians told the people that they were patriots while paying a monthly electricity bill of 100,000 rupees. People who have houses in California, who have made California their village, have obtained US citizenship, tried to teach patriotism to the people of our country. Using the vagabond culture established by the Rajapaksa regime, a gang of thugs took over governance of the country and tried to teach patriotism to the people of this country. The Chief of Supreme Court of the country was listening to the election results at Temple Trees. When Ranil Wickremesinghe went to Temple Trees in the morning, the man known as Mohan Piris was still there. This is the head of the Supreme Court, the person who should be delivering justice to the people, that was at Temple Trees.
Mohan Piris කියන පුද්ගලයා එතන ඉන්න. මේ රටේ උත්තරීතර අධිකරණේ මේ රටේ ජනතාවට යුක්තිය බහදලන පළවෙනි පුද්ගලයා මේ ඉන්නේ. මූලික අර කඩුල්ලක් අපි පැන්නා.
We jumped the first hurdle. On the 8th of January, we achieved our first victory. But in fulfilling the aspirations of the people who were behind this victory, we will face two primary challenges. The first challenge is this. Those who were defeated are shedding tears now and are attempting to portray themselves as saints before the people to receive their sympathy and come to the political fore again. That is the major challenge. How are we going to prevent the people's aspiration from being suppressed by this new group who are changing their allegiances now for petty aims? I think we can only face these challenges by building an enlightened public movement.
A group of civil society activists, including the Lawyers Collective, staged a demonstration opposite the Supreme Court today.
The demonstrators demanded reinstatement of former Chief Justice Dr. Shrirani Bandaranaike. The Chief Justice was directly involved in politics. Lawmakers possess all the evidence of this. Mohan Piris is one of the main accused in the attempt to go to Temple Trees and prevent this victory. The illegal appointment of Mohan Piris must be rescinded. If he has any shame, he must resign. The legal community is calling for the reinstatement of the 43rd Chief Justice. The Supreme Court issued two verdicts noting that it was illegal to remove the Chief Justice. Thereby the illegal removal and the subsequent illegal appointment are both invalid. It must be rescinded. The position of the 43rd Chief Justice is permanent. The Chief Justice was with the former President at the palace. This could have influenced the independence of the judiciary and of the election. The legal community and the civil society says that such a person should not remain in the Chief Justice's position. We expect that he will respectfully resign today. Following the end of the barbaric regime, as university teachers, our only hope is that the standards that will uphold democracy will be established soon. The new government must establish these standards as soon as possible.
Honorable Dashanyapa says that former President Mahinda Rajapaksa will remain as the chairman for the Sri Lanka Freedom Party. He stated that this decision was reached unanimously by the Executive Committee of the party.
The Executive Committee convened a meeting at the official residence of the Chief Minister of the Western Province this morning. The meeting was held under the auspices of President Mahinda Rajapaksa and saw the presence of several prominent members of the party.
The Central Working Committee held a meeting last evening. In this meeting, the Central Working Committee reached an unanimous decision in accordance with the party's constitution to allow Mahinda Rajapaksa to remain as chairman of the party. I have informed the Elections Commissioner with regard to this decision. Thereby, a meeting was convened at 9 this morning with the participation of all executive members of the party. In this meeting, we spoke about the decision arrived by the Central Working Committee last evening and thus arrived at a unanimous decision together with the Executive Committee to let Mahinda Rajapaksa function as the chairman of the party.
මෙම විධායක සභාවත් අද දිනේ ඒකමතිකව අනුමත කෙරුවා.
Former President Mahinda Rajapaksa also addressed the gathering at this media briefing.
This is a temporary setback. We still remain strong as a party. We still have the majority and we have a great responsibility in Parliament to protect democracy. We should allow them to implement the 100-day national policy. We can see that there is violence taking place in all electorates across the country. The lies keep growing. I was with the opposition for 17 years, so we need to learn how to live with the victories and the defeat. I am used to this.
His Holiness Pope Francis will arrive at the Katunayake International Airport at 9:45 a.m. tomorrow.
The significance of the Pope's visit to the country is the canonization of Blessed Joseph Vaz, who rendered his immense service to Catholicism. Joseph Vaz, who preached the gospel through various hardships and obstacles by taking his mission to the outskirts of the city, passed away in Kandy. A request was made by the Bishop of Kandy Diocese, the Right Reverend Vianney Fernando, had requested the elevation of the Blessed Joseph Vaz to sainthood following his beatification. The Media and Information Secretariat of the Pope's visit said that all preparations have been made for the canonization ceremony of Blessed Joseph Vaz on the 14th of this month. The Pope's motorcade will start its procession in Sidua and thereafter will be headed to Jala, Kandana, Wattala, the Navaloka Junction, Japan Friendship Bridge, the Ingurukadi Roundabout, Amma Street, the Sangaraja Junction, and will proceed to the apostolic residence of Bauddha Lokamavata via Punchiboralla. Reverend Father Cyril Gamani Fernando said that Pope Francis will conduct a special mass at the Golfes Green on Wednesday, the 14th of January. A special shuttle service is in place for the devotees' convenience. Railway Superintendent L.A.R. Ratnayaka says that a special train service will be scheduled for tomorrow. Railway Superintendent L.A.R. Ratnayaka says that under the special transport program for the public, the trains are scheduled to travel from Jaffna, Bandarawala, Kandy, Kurunagala, Putlam, Chilau, Mathura, Gaul and Aludgama to Slave Island. Meanwhile, Deputy Minister of the Sri Lanka Transport Board, Nimal Anasli, says that a special bus service will be in place for devotees to participate in the special mass, adding that the buses will be dispatched to a number of main cities in the island. Our cameras captured the preparations being made in the Nigambo area for the papal procession. Our cameras also captured the manner in which the area near the Bandaranaike International Airport in Katunayake was decorated. The Golfes Green area was also decorated in line with the Pope's visit. Meanwhile, a movie screening took place in line with the papal visit. The screening of the movie depicting the significant moments of the Pope's lives was organized by Deshapandhu Saman Hettiarachi. The movie was screened at the National Art Gallery this morning.
The 14th of January has been declared a special public and bank holiday in view of the Pope's visit. The Government Information Department said that this comes in the wake of the special mass that is scheduled to take place under the auspices of His Holiness Pope Francis at the Golfes Green. Meanwhile, the police said that the Katunayake Expressway will be open for the public toll-free starting from 6 p.m. today. Police media spokesperson SSP Ajit Rohana noted that travelling on a three-wheeler or motorbike will be allowed on this route. However, the maximum speed limit along this expressway is 70 kilometers per hour.
From His Holiness Pope Francis's plane to the famous Pope Mobile, here's a special report on His Holiness's visit to Sri Lanka.
It is no surprising fact that the Pope makes constant visits around the world. During these tours, His Holiness uses a flight from Italy's Alitalia airline. It has become a tradition. According to foreign media, His Holiness also travels in airplanes belonging to the Italian Air Force. As Pope Francis's plane touches down, it has become a custom to identify the plane as Shepherd 1, and this is believed to have stemmed from the media. Another custom which the Pope follows is kissing the earth when he lands, depending on the physical condition of the Pope. The iconic Pope Mobile is a specially designed motor vehicle used by the Pope during outdoor public appearances. Some Pope Mobiles are open air, while others are bulletproof of glass to enclose the Pope. Some allow the Pope to sit, while others are designed to accommodate the Pope standing. The Swiss Guardian, referred to as Pontifical Swiss Guards of the Holy See, is stationed at the Vatican in Rome. The papal Swiss Guard has a bodyguard-like role to the Pope during his visits abroad.
We would like to ask our Catholics to prepare themselves spiritually, prayerfully for this important and blessed day. And also we would like to thank all the people in this country, especially the non-Catholics, Buddhist brothers and Muslim and Hindu brothers and sisters for the support that you gave us in keeping peace in this country, even just after the election. So we thank you very much for the support we received from you to make this event a success.
Provincial Council Minister Senthil Tondaman, who was under a warrant, handed himself over to the Bandarawila magistrate in connection to the assault of a postman.
Police noted that he was released on bail set at 25,000 rupees and a surety of 200,000 rupees.
Meanwhile, investigations have commenced with regard to post-election violence, and the police are seeking to arrest 2 local politicians, including a provincial councillor.
Police media spokesperson SSP Ajit Rohana noted that they have received 50 complaints with regard to post-election violence.
Meanwhile, the UNP organizer for the Heva-Heta electorate, Shanti Kogonava, was assaulted by a group including the chairman of the Patha Heta Pradesh Sabha last night.
Police stated that 2 persons have been taken into custody in relation to the incident. According to police, a group including the chairman of the Pahatha Hewa Heta Pradesh Sabha and another member acted in an unruly manner at a welcoming ceremony in Ududeniya last evening. Police stated that Shantini Kongahage and the organizer of the event sustained injuries. The organizer was admitted to the Marasana hospital while Shantini Kongahage was admitted to the Peradeniya Teaching Hospital. The vehicle of Shantini Kongahage was also damaged as a result.
The chairman of the Pradesh Sabha arrived in a cab and began to assault me. The head of the Farmer Society was also assaulted. They first vandalized the house of the manager of the party in charge of the division. I will lodge a complaint with the police to take immediate measures to arrest them and take legal action.
Meanwhile, an unknown group set fire to a store in the Bibilegama area in Rakwana last evening. Our correspondent noted that a house was also damaged in the incident. Our correspondent added that residents of the house had been at a musical concert organized in support of President Maithripala Sirisena's victory when the incident occurred. There was around 2 million rupees worth of equipment here. Except for equipment worth around 2,000 rupees, everything else has been destroyed. The office of the opposition leader of Hambantota, which was sealed by the mayor of Hambantota, was reopened today. This was subsequent to discussions which took place between the leader of the opposition of the Hambantota Municipal Council, Ayub Khan, accompanied by opposition members of the council and the commissioner. Allegations were levelled at the mayor of the Hambantota Municipal Council in relation to the attack on a group of street performers on the 20th of December. The leader of the opposition for the Hambantota Municipal Council, who sustained injuries, was hospitalized, following which the mayor had sealed the opposition leader's office. As a result of good governance, I am able to open the door to my office, which was sealed all this time. A group of ministerial staff attempted to forcefully take away files belonging to the Ministry of Highways at the Setsiripaya administration complex. The trade union who managed to stop the group later staged a protest and handed the files to security. The trade union noted that the group attempted to take away folders on the Maganaguma project and other road development projects.
There
are a large number of files belonging to government institutions which have faults and are disappearing. There were instances where there was no official or secretary. If there are files which are fraudulent and attempts are being made to take them out, all government officers should be made aware of this.
UNP MP Ranjan Ramanayaka visited the commission to investigate allegations of bribery and corruption today.
Ranjan Ramanayaka arrived at the commission today to inquire into the status of a complaint he had made previously and certain other matters.
අපි පුන පුනා වේදිකාවේ කිව්වා දේශපාලන වේදිකාවේ.
We continue to press on this by standing on political stages, and this was also brought up by President Maithripala Sirisena and Prime Minister Ranil Wickremesinghe. I also said that this airport will be closed to fraudsters. I am not criticizing the government, but I regret to inform that the government fell short of achieving this. I know what I am about to receive will be taken away gradually from me if I continue to say this. I will be ridiculed and will be made a laughing stock. I am not saying this to inconvenience the President or the Prime Minister. I am saying this because this has happened before. Even though the government says that they will be arrested by Interpol and all of that, I am not ready to believe it. And also, the innocent people will not buy it either. Because if they have left, then that is it. It is pointless to close the stable door after the horse has bolted. We need to fulfill the promises made on stage. This is not a threat. This is a request. We call on President Maithripala Sirisena and Prime Minister Ranil Wickremesinghe to do this. At least revoke the passports of all the suspects. Dear President Maithripala Sirisena and Prime Minister Ranil Wickremesinghe, this is the money of our people. Revoke the passports of the accused, and as you said on the election stage, stop the thieves from fleeing through the airport.
කිව්වා වගේම මැතිවරණ වේදිකාවේ කිව්වා වගේම එයාපෝට් එකෙන් හොරුන් යන එක නවත්තා දෙන්න.
A special event was organized today in lieu of the victory of President Maithripala Sirisena at the Colombo Municipal Council.
The event was jointly organized by a group of trade unions. Western Provincial Councillor Janta De Silva and the Deputy Mayor of Colombo, U.L. Titus, were present for the event. I am thankful to all those from the JSS, the urban councils and everyone else who was present for the inauguration of President Maithripala Sirisena. I call on all state sector employees to work together. New members have joined with us and increased our membership. They will not be treated unfairly anymore. I can state that no injustice will be caused to them.
The Wildlife Department officers of Hikkadu investigated parliamentarian Sajin Divas Gunawardana's house in Hikkadu this evening. This was due to a complaint lodged with regard to the MP having an unauthorized elephant calf in his possession.
We were informed that there is a permit. They said they will submit the permit by 9 a.m. tomorrow at our head office. If there's a permit, it won't be a problem.